What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome to BioInk Redemption. We are going to continue the live campaign today. Obviously the game is now fully released and we can now go on to the last stage and play the Enigma. Play as John Smith, lethal difficulty, as per usual. Now the only thing that makes sense here is big points rush, random eruptions of multiple resources. The reason being, and I did not know that until testing it really, in this mission what happens is you have a set amount of bio points that you can spend, and you need to finish the mission with those bio points. I think you start with 170 or something. And bio points rush, what that does at times is it still gives you random eruptions of resources, which is relatively interesting because I don't think that should happen, but for now that's what you should pick because it actually is the only thing that gives a bonus. I don't know if it's intended though. I don't know. I really don't think it is, but you never know. Now another thing is, obviously these two make the most sense. Fewer symptoms means the potential diseases of those symptoms are less. Now the thing is, if you miss out on your diagnostic tests, you do a couple of wrong ones, then your points won't be enough to diagnose and treat all diseases. Now if clicking on a symptom will highlight fewer diseases, it kinda has the same effect. So it's really one of these two. I picked both before, so I don't really see too big of a difference. They kind of work very similarly. What I like is start stage with 2 randomly pre-upgraded lifestyles because I really do not want to spend points on lifestyles. I do, however, want diagnostic tests to be cheaper because we're going to be doing a lot of them and we need to save points. And I do want this, as per usual. Slower system collapse speed is good. Let's start. So as you can see, we have a lot of symptoms. We have systems that are hurting. And now we need to make something of it. Skin rash, fever, swelling and bruising is the most severe things. This test is a given. Judging by the severity, I would say let's do a brain MRI as well. And judging by the severity here, I would like to do this test for 2, because if this is correct, then we also know this one is correct. And I would actually like to do this one and this one. Those are the most severe things that I found, and I think we are going to have a couple of correct results here. And right now we still have the resources to spend. We have 129 points left of our 170. And I do hope that we hit quite a few diseases with our first spending spree. That was a miss. That was not a miss. Blood clots. What more do we have? Maybe the brain MRI saves us. Because it is a popular disease with stroke. Skin biopsy did very well. Now another thing that I do is I usually pick the less expensive treatment, even if it's not as good. Simple reason being, well, hold on, yes. Simple reason being we have limited amount of points and spending them needlessly should probably be avoided. Now we did test these 2 before, so I'm not gonna hold my breath here. But there is more to take into consideration. Because there's a lot of diagnostic tests It can and should. If you look at this, anything going down this tree cannot be correct because none of the systems leads us to urinary incontinence. So everything down this path must be wrong. Now this path, it's a little bit different because it could go this way. But what I actually think, it's difficult. It's difficult testing which is the correct one. Sorry. I would actually like to do this test and then leave it be. The thing is, we only have 88 points left. We already spent almost half our points. And if you look at it, we still have a lot left. So despite the spending spree early on and the wealth of points early on that you have, you need to be pretty careful about what you are doing. And that test was correct. That's not what I want to do. That is what I want to do. Lupus is a very popular disease, by the way. So we still have skin rash. It's not this one, so... Well. You see, this is why fewer symptoms. Actually, still have quite a few symptoms. But that's kind of good because we did look for this one before. So it must be leukemia in this case. Which is kind of interesting because I would have expected a higher damage taken if that is indeed the correct disease. Now we have 60 points left. I'm not a particularly big fan of this end part of this mission because it usually gets pretty tight. Let's do this therapy. And as you can see, we now get points all of a sudden. Now, again, I have no idea if this is intended. What leads me to believe that it isn't intended is that it strictly states, find it within 170 bio points. We now have more bio points, but it only shows with 48. But what we have left, we have memory loss, which leads us to believe that this is a good path. Chronic coughing, shortness of breath, and chest pain. Now all this leads us to believe that something up here is wrong. But what's wrong? That we don't know. So we do a simple test first and see what we find. And we find something which is good. So doing this treatment, we still have strong shortness of breath, by the way. But now we're in a bit of trouble. Do we go this path? I would say yes. We have 32 points left. But now it's just gambling. It really is gambling, which is the correct disease. And we get lucky. So really part of this whole process is getting lucky. Now we have memory loss left. And this one is really the only one that makes sense. We have 6 bio points left. According to the official 170. Now I don't know if these 15 count. I have no idea. But even with 6 points, I don't think they are going to be enough. I don't know it though. The strategy is going to be the same. I mean, it's a little bit of tough luck here and there and you're out. That's kind of what this mission is, really. Yeah, that test was correct. And we have something for 4 points, so we actually do it within the 170 points. We did not need the additional 9 points that we got, I think, from the booster that we picked. Now honestly, I have no idea if it came through that. I just made the experience. If I pick that perk right in the beginning, I do get the occasional point burst. Whether you want to use that or not, or you think it's cheating or whatever, that's up to you. I showed that it works, and to me it's the only thing that currently makes sense. But what I can tell you is we did it. We did it with 2 points left, which is pretty close, I must admit. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm glad you watched this video. I hope you can do this as well and beat this mission, and until next time, farewell.